The history of all hitherto existing society is the history of class struggles. Workers of the world unite. You have nothing to lose but your chains. The philosophers have only interpreted the world in various ways. The point, however, is to change it. Religion is the opium of the people. The production of too many useful things results in too many useless people. From each according to his abilities to each according to his needs. The ruling ideas of each age have ever been the ideas of its ruling class. Revolutions are the locomotives of history. The theory of communism may be summed up in one sentence: abolish all private property. Capital is dead labor, which, vampire-like, lives only by sucking living labor and lives the more labor it sucks. Society does not consist of individuals, but expresses the sum of interrelations, the relations within which these individuals stand. Reason has always existed, but not always in a reasonable form. Necessity is blind until it becomes conscious. Freedom is the consciousness of necessity. The human being is, in the most literal sense, a political animal, not merely a gregarious animal, but an animal which can individuate itself only in the midst of society. The ideas of the ruling class are in every epoch the ruling ideas. The state is the form in which the individuals of a ruling class assert their common interests. The more of himself man attributes to God, the less he has left in himself. Men make their own history, but they do not make it as they please. The tradition of all dead generations weighs like a nightmare on the brains of the living. The hand mill gives you society with the feudal lord, the steam mill, society with the industrial capitalist. History repeats itself. First is tragedy, second is farce. Democracy is the road to socialism. Landlords, like all other men, love to reap where they never sowed. The emancipation of the working class must be the act of the working class itself. All social life is essentially practical. All mysteries which lead theory to mysticism find their rational solution in human practice and in the comprehension of this practice. In bourgeois society, capital is independent and has individuality, while the living person is dependent and has no individuality. The worker becomes all the poorer the more wealth he produces, the more his production increases in power and size. The circulation of commodities is the original precondition of the circulation of money. Labor in the white skin can never free itself as long as labor in the black skin is branded. The abolition of religion as the illusory happiness of the people is the demand for their real happiness. Political power, properly so called, is merely the organized power of one class for oppressing another. The rich will do anything for the poor, but get off their backs. The working men have no country. We cannot take away from them what they have not got. Communism is for us not a state of affairs which is to be established, an ideal to which reality will have to adjust itself. We call communism the real movement, which abolishes the present state of things. Nothing can have value without being an object of utility. Society as a whole is more and more splitting up into two great hostile camps, into two great classes directly facing each other: bourgeoisie and proletariat. The proletarians have nothing to lose but their chains. The ruling class is in every epoch the ruling intellectual force. A commodity appears at first sight an extremely obvious, trivial thing, but its analysis brings out that it is a very strange thing, abounding in metaphysical subtleties and theological niceties. Religion is the sigh of the oppressed creature, the heart of a heartless world, and the soul of soulless conditions. The emancipation of man is the emancipation of labor from private property. The weapon of criticism cannot, of course, replace criticism by weapons. Man makes religion, religion does not make man. The proletariat is revolutionary or it is nothing. The ruling ideas are nothing more than the ideal expression of the dominant material relationships. The only antidote to mental suffering is physical pain. The bourgeoisie cannot exist without constantly revolutionizing the instruments of production. The history of all previous societies has been the history of class struggles. The mode of production of material life conditions, the general process of social, political, and intellectual life. The oppressed are allowed once every few years to decide which particular representatives of the oppressing class are to represent and repress them. The human being is in the most literal sense a political animal. The worker puts his life into the object, but now his life no longer belongs to him, but to the object. The less you eat, drink, and buy books, the less you go to the theater, the dance hall, the public house, the less you think, love, theorize, sing, paint, fence, etc., the more you save, the greater becomes your treasure, which neither moths nor dust will devour, your capital. The individual carries his social power, as well as his bond with society in his pocket. The need of a constantly expanding market for its products chases the bourgeoisie over the entire surface of the globe.